I'd rather get rejected than never ever try. They invest into the artists that's talking about nothing really. So now I went from like people teasing me about not having these shoes to the actual company paying me to wear these shoes. But if you grab 10 from the States and grab your top 10 from the UK, it'll be a hell of a match and I don't know who will win.
Yo, what's good, people? We're back with another episode of the 521 Sofa Chat, where we document legacies past and present and provide a platform for artists to conduct live performances showcasing their talents. On today's show, we have an artist who's traveled all the way across the Atlantic from Oakland, California. Being honest, I only just heard about him a couple of weeks ago, but I love the fact that he's invested in himself and has flown all the way to the UK to promote and build awareness for his brand. So that got me curious, and I wanted to find out more about him. I'd like to welcome to the 521 Sofa Chat, Prince Ray Pope.
All right, thank you. I appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, how you doing, bro? You good?
I'm good. I'm just, man, I'm grateful for this platform. You know, you got a lot of good things going on. I'm just happy to be here.
Thank you for even watching. I mean, I had no idea that people up in California or anywhere outside of the UK are even watching, so that's good to know.
Yeah, nah, it's good. It's like kind of like the essence of hip hop in the UK is the vibes I get here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta have them bars. You gotta be talking about something. So I just appreciate the opportunity to come here and give my talent, give my art, and showcase it.
What can you tell us about yourself?
Man, grew up with my parents and my siblings. Grew up in Oakland, California, and was raised in the church, like in doing music in the church choir and being in like plays and doing, you know, holiday speeches. So like the entertainment or like the arts, theater, all of that was exposed to me at an early age, right? We did tap dancing, everything we had to perform. It was always like a competition or performing. And then later on in life, you know, I started getting a teenager, and that's when I started like rapping, and me and my friends, we would like, you know, be doing freestyles, and I started getting into poetry and things like that, along with playing sports. But as far as music, man, it's just I've been doing this since I was real young, and it's just now I'm just, you know, recording and got an album out, obviously, but that's where it started, that real young though.
So you're multi-talented then?
Yeah. Man, it's hard. Like, you know, sometimes people, man, you should just do music, or nah, you should just do TV and film. But for me, I like to express myself through both. Like I like to record music, I like to produce films, and then even merge it together. For example, I got a film I produced called In the Bathroom, where I'm star acting in it, but also the music soundtrack is my own music. So sometimes I like to just collab both worlds, you know what I'm saying, and bring both worlds together. So, and I don't really like to be in the box. I mean, I know that it's kind of cliche. You got to do this, you got to do that, but man, it's like you only live one life. So
Tell us a little bit about what life in Oakland is like, you know, where people like you are concerned, where you're multi-talented, you know, how difficult is it, how easy is it?
well, I can say this: growing up in Oakland, California, it's you got to be tough. You know, you can't. You got to be tough, or else you'll get ran home. You know, just in general, as far as just like going out and making friends or going to school, you know, it's a little rough. So you develop thick skin. So that's. But I'm glad that I grew up there, because now, you know, I'll go anywhere, and I feel like just like people from New York said, well, if I grew up in New York, I can make it anywhere. Really, for me, if you grew up in Oakland, I feel like you can make it anywhere.
You know, they say the same about London as well.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I feel about Oakland. So just kind of growing up, grew up with my siblings, sisters, my parents. They were entrepreneurs, business owners, and things like that. So that kind of got my mind open at an early age, right? Like my pops, you know, I'll be at like the local grocery store selling balloons, $1 each, you know, in front of the store, or like uh, so we'll go like down the street 10 blocks, buy candy bars, 3 for $1, then come back and sell them for $1 each, you know, tripling our money. But that started at 8, 9, 10 years old, you know, having that entrepreneur spirit, that business ownership spirit. And so I want to thank my parents for kind of putting that, you know, in me. It was times where we had where, you know, my folks was getting fast money, but then there's times where it's like, it just all went bad, you know. So I lived good, and then it was times where it's like, you know, we had to, the next day we didn't know where the food was gonna come from. You know what I'm saying? So I live both lives. So that's why I'm grateful for everything. Like, and we talking about money, money will never define me, because one day I can have $1, the next day you can have 10K, right? 10K pounds or whatever. Like, I'll still be the same person, because I've lived, and I can, you know, maneuver in both worlds. Even knocking on doors, asking neighbors, hey, I'll wash your car. You know, you need your, because if I say, like, I'm walking down the street, I see the neighbor with a dirty car, I knock on the door, hey, you give me $5. I'm young though, you know. I wash your car. It worked. Most of the time it worked.
Yeah, you gotta start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere. Even the holiday times, Christmas curls, knock on
And
the
not
door.
only that, what you
Yeah.
start then, you know, imagine if you hadn't started that and you're still trying to start something 30 years later and you never start. Where do you go?
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
nah.
Where is there to go? There's nowhere. You just watch everyone go past you and you start getting
Right.
bitter at the world because you kind of
Yeah.
fucked up in it because you didn't take those opportunities.
Right, exactly.
You know?
You got to have that training, that trial and error, you know, and kind of, and some people, you know, I'm not scared. A lot of people, it's like a fear thing too, a rejection. I've been rejected so many times. It's nothing. You know what I mean? Like, you just move on to the next. What's rejection? You know, like, I rather get rejected than never ever try.
Did you ever get to the point where you were getting rejected so much that you kind of enjoyed the fact that everyone rejected you, knowing that you got plans that you know they're all going to be like shocked at?
Right.
You know, like, because I used to kind of thrive on people being negative towards me because that drove me.
Right.
So what were you like with things like that?
I would say for the music, like a lot of, you know, oh man, it's a lot of artists, it's a lot of rappers, you know, I don't know about that, I don't know about this, but then once I, like, put out a few records, a few dope ones, now those same people are like, you got to keep going, you got to keep going, but it's like, hold on, but you told me don't even start.
Do you want
Now
to
you're
hear?
telling me keep going.
Do you want to hear a good story? So similar to what you just said there, I've had people that have basically doubted everything from beginning,
Right.
And it breaks you. You
Right.
know, it breaks you, and if you're not strong, it will literally take you off the face of the earth. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But you know, if you're strong, you just kind of carry on. Now, I've had people that have basically said to me, "You're going nowhere. There's too much competition," and they've
Right.
done this throughout my entire life.
Right.
Yeah. But then as soon as they see stuff working, they're the same people calling up and saying, have you got a job for me?
Right.
Can you hire me for something?
Hopping on the
Anything?
bandwagon. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So basically, to all of you people who've done that, fuck you all. Yeah.
Hey, and they can still have a seat on the bandwagon. You can still come and ride the train too, but you're gonna have to pay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But you know what? They do drive people
Yeah.
to almost mental illness.
Right,
Because
no.
you end up, like, if you're not strong enough, you end
you
up
can
doubting yourself,
depressed,
and all kind of depression,
anxiety,
suicide, everything.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah, so it's crazy. You lot need to really understand what you're doing when you do things like that.
Right.
This wasn't the direction I intended the interview to go, but I have to say it. You know what I
Right.
mean? 'Cause think about what you say and what you do and how you break people down, because you could be the murderer of that person. All right, think about that.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
No, most definitely.
But anyway, so you know, you said something about church earlier, I believe.
Yeah.
Or it might have been over the phone conversation or something that we had. But you said something about being in a church. I'm pretty sure you said something about competing
Yeah.
in church choirs as well.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I'm in the UK, so I don't see that. And plus, you know, I'm not an atheist or anything, but I believe in God and all that stuff.
Right.
But I don't go church.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I don't go anymore either, but like growing up, you know, just kind of, I think it was more so my parents had me in it because my whole cousins and friends, it was like kind of like a neighborhood thing, and just maybe to get that structure and to keep us out the streets. Because like growing up, like the first 10 years maybe of my life, we didn't go trick-or-treating, right? Because that's a time where everybody bring out their guns or whatever. So a lot of times we just went to the church on Halloween and got candy and everything like that. So I think it was a way to kind of keep us away from like the danger of the streets, putting us in church and giving us that structure. So, but like you were saying, like competing in church, yeah, man, I grew up in a church called East Oakland Church of God in Christ. And so we had a group called the Songbirds, and I sung alto. You got your sopranos, alto, and tenors. So I was an alto singer, and man, we would just sing for the church members, and then we got so good that our choir director, shout out Bridget, she would take us to different churches around the whole Bay Area, performing in front of other church members and other church organizations, and so we kind of built a name like that. But that's like where my love for like competing and like performing, it all started right there, like when I was young, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It started right when I was young. So, it's definitely a blessing.
Were you like fiercely competitive, or were you just kind of like, I'm just doing what the coaches are telling me? And what was it like?
Yeah, I would say I was competitive. I mean, me personal, yeah, because we would have to go to choir rehearsal twice a week. So like I was heavily invested. I wanted to do good. I wanted to do my best. And then you got your family, and so after church, everybody's talking about, oh, you did really good. So you want people to be like, hey, you was singing real good. So I definitely tried my best all the time. I was definitely competitive.
Okay, so now you're in the house of God.
Yeah.
So you got to be honest. Did you go to church for the singing or for the female singers?
Both.
Were you allowed? Was that considered a sin?
Nah. I mean, you got your sins and all that, but like, I honestly feel like my own personal beliefs, God knows your heart, man. So I'm not trying to like harm nobody or steal or, it's
You just wanted a bit of fun.
yeah. I don't think that's too much of a sin, man. To me, that's just me. That's just me. That's just how I feel.
All right.
I'm not real too much of a stickler on that,
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a natural progression, you kind of going into hip hop, because hip hop is naturally competitive. Well, maybe, I don't know what it's like in Oakland, but in the UK, it's pretty competitive. And the craft means everything to them.
Right. But they don't get the notoriety as the other, I'll call them the rappers that hop on the trends, different trends and stuff, like we talked about earlier, mumble rap and different things like that. That's very commercialized. But now I know a lot of cats out where I'm from, Oakland, California, the States. It's some dope lyricists, but they don't never get a fair shake.
Why do you think that is?
Because I think a lot of the big corporations and companies, they invest into the artists that's talking about nothing really, to be honest with you.
And why do you think that is?
They get the deal. I think it's like that to keep to keep the crime rate up, to keep I think it's deeper than music.
Sorry, I need to stop you there.
Okay.
Right? Because this is stuff that I already feel the same about. But I don't want you looking at me when you're saying it. Look into that camera and say, like, tell the world what you believe with regards to the question I just asked you.
Okay. So as far as like, I think like the big labels and big companies invest in artists that's not really talking about nothing, or who just talking about killing and stealing, just to kind of keep the crime rate up. Honestly, I think it's deeper than music, because if it was really just investing into the talents of the artists, the music would be a lot more deeper. It'll hit a lot more different ranges. You turn the radio on in the U.S., they talking about is I'm gonna ride on you. I'm gonna come kill on you. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Taking lean. It's crazy how it went from like it went from like the rappers went from like selling drugs to taking drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just crazy. And so those is the people. If you follow those trends and making music like that, then you get the deal. But the moment you talk about ownership and longevity and building people up and mental health, oh nah, we not signing that. We don't want to invest in that. So I just feel like, but those artists who do make it to that level, who's talking about that, who take the ladder, I feel like you take the ladder when you do that. I think they have a longer career span, and their music is timeless. You know what I'm saying? Like, rather than following trends, man, it get outdated. But when you really make stuff from your soul and things like that, your music live forever. When you not trying to, oh, I'm just gonna make this record. And I got caught up in that as well. Like I started, like, I remember I was like making strip club music, and I'm like, I listen back now and I be cringing. Like, I can't even believe I was making that because it wasn't really.
So you started from a church where you were there for the females, and then you went and started like doing stuff in strip clubs. There's a pattern building here, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was rap. No, I was rapping. So after the church and then
Bro,
boom.
I was joking.
I don't know. You know, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
But going back to what you were saying about what we just talked about there for a second, do you know about the prison systems?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you know about the prison systems?
I know that the prison system feed a lot of families, so it's always going to be there, and it's more in the States. It's even more prisons than universities or schools. I mean, Michael Jordan invests in prisons,
Okay.
and I love MJ. You know, I love Michael Jordan, but once I found that out, I was like, oh man, there's so many other things you
But
can
there's
invest
loads
in.
more. There's loads more.
Yeah, well, why you want to invest in prisons? But I probably because it's a cash cow. Like, out of all the things you want to invest in prisons, so
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, you see, all these people that we used to look up to, bit by bit, we're not looking up to them anymore because they are investing in the downfall of other people.
right.
But yeah, so you coming from the church background and then knowing all this stuff is going on and you're now involved in that culture, how does that make you feel?
I feel good because, like, even in the music I make now, like, because I still got like well, I don't know if you want to call it religious or spiritual kind of, but I still got that in me. So when I'm making music, if you listen closely, you'll still hear little bits and pieces of, like, because I do believe in a higher power, the Most High, and things like that, and creating your own karma and doing good and things like that. So you'll hear it in my music. Like, for example, my single I got out right now. I think in the hook I say, I pray for you now. Like, I'm saying prayer, right? And so I give little bits and pieces here and there. So I just kind of, for me, I just kind of combine it. I don't lose myself, but then I can still have a good time too. So I just find that balance where it's like I'm still putting out a good message, but I'm still catering to, like, people who may not believe in God or whatever like that. And so they can still vibe along to it as well.
Earlier we said about you being multi-talented. So let's tackle each of those talents a little bit one by one.
Okay.
Okay, so I understand you played basketball.
Yes.
What level did you get to and how good were you?
The highest in the States, the highest level you can play in college is Division I. So I played Division I basketball. I made a Division I, and I got friends that went overseas or played in NBA and things like that. But I kind of knew that I wasn't gonna really be wanting to play pro. You got your hoop dreams when I was young, but as you get older, you're like, okay, I'm gonna have to pivot. And so I just wanted to use basketball then just to get through college for like a scholarship, just to pay for my college. So I used basketball as a tool to get me through college and for me to get a degree.
So knowing the kind of money that you could be making from it and the security you can have in your future, why didn't you pursue that?
For me, like, working out and running and man, it's like your body break down. And so it wasn't that had an expiration date for me. And then there's so many people that want to play. Like, I think in the States,
But think how much you could be making in that time that you never need to work ever again.
Yeah.
So was it not worth you pushing your body to it?
Well, I tried. I just felt like I didn't personally. I had bad coaching. If I would have had coaching who really kind of put me into that tunnel, then I could have done something. But I ran into, like, some bad coaching individuals, and that kind of it shaped the trajectory of where I was going, like who your high school coach is, your college coach. Because, like, I remember when I was in high school, I was getting recruited by different colleges, but instead of my coach saying, hey man, these colleges are they looking at you, coaches have favorites and stuff, so they'll telling the different college coaches when they calling about me, oh, but I got this other player too. And you know what I mean? And so you can get lost in all of that. Basketball is very political, a lot of politics, man. So
Do you want to touch on a couple of them?
so I think that if your parents, or say like if my pops would have played pro, I got an easier route to go pro. Or it's all about who you know. Kind of like in the music and entertainment too. If you know somebody, then you'll get further. So you know a coach, you know an agent.
But isn't that the same in pretty much everything?
It's kind of like, I think so. It's about who you know. I mean, sports and entertainment. It's about who you gotta have the talent. I feel like you do gotta have some kind of talent, but you need that and plus people to put you in the right direction.
You say that, but there are a lot of situations where people have no talent whatsoever, but they still get pushed.
Because they kind of like puppets, right? They just going along to get along, or they just making, oh, okay, well, I'll make this because they're gonna like it. It's not necessarily what they like. They may not even like what they're creating, but as long as everybody else like it, forget it, I'll do it. You know what I mean? So people get caught up in that as well.
Basically, they get sold a dream, they go with it, look like a bunch of idiots, and then their careers are destroyed for the rest of their lives.
Right.
And they're the laughing stock wherever they go, because
Exactly.
all people remember them for is how there was millions invested in them and nothing happened.
Exactly. Exactly.
Whereas I know people that have had £8.79 in their account and they've done something.
Right. It's crazy, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I just feel like if you just make music and create from within, you're going to have that longevity. You'll be able to put, like some of the bars you were spitting earlier, I'm not sure when you wrote them, but even the bars I heard from you from 10 years ago, it's still relevant to today.
Now, the ones I spat here earlier were 23 years old.
That's what I'm saying. But you could, but and I'm sure 10 years from now, they'll still be relevant.
Yeah.
But you can tell that them bars came from the heart, though. Yeah. It wasn't because you looked at TV and was like, oh, I should write this. Nah, that shit came from from here.
We write from feelings.
Exactly.
A lot of the UK artists write from feelings.
Yeah.
They go through a lot. Like, because we never really have the support or the infrastructure to kind of get ourselves somewhere. So we quite often end up sitting at train stations on a bench there, or we'll just go and sit on a wall somewhere, or we'll sit in our dingy flats, and do you know what I mean? And we don't really have much.
Yeah.
So we have to make the most of what we have.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So to do that, we have to aim for the highest mark that we can go for. And that's basically why the crafting skills of a lot of these people in the UK is ridiculously high.
Right.
Like, there's some serious MCs out here.
No, it's seriously.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I feel like, you know, quite a lot of them haven't had the opportunity because of what you were saying about the corruption and whatever else. So their skill levels are going to carry on growing. They're not going to go backwards. They might never reach that stage where they'll be able to go, I bought a mansion off the back of this, and I did this, and I did that. So they're constantly crafting their skills because they've got no time to slow down and, you know, take it easy because they just had this big hit.
Right.
Because no one's supporting them. And those are the kind of things we're trying to change.
To bring the essence back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah. Nah, and I respect that. I respect that. That's what I'm promoting as well.
And talking of what you're promoting, why are you in the UK?
So I'm promoting my new album called Final Score. Got a single. I'm doing a single promo for the singles Turn You Out, the debut album. Final Score, the singles Turn You Out, and then I'm also promoting my brand Before Royalty. Yeah. So Before Royalty, this is my brand, and so the slogan with this is trust the process. So before royalty, or before you get to whatever your royalty is, whatever it is, you got to trust your process. You got to trust your journey. You got to manifest. You got to dream big. You know what I'm saying? And then you'll reach your royalty stage. No matter if it's to be the manager of McDonald's, that may be your goal. It just represents the grind. It represents going from one place to reach another. And so that's kind of what I wanted to put out there. And for me, it's motivation. So I always want to just motivate the people, and always, like, I grew up with, you know, with the OGs telling me, each one teach one. So this is my contribution to the game. I'm kind of teaching, hey, manifestation, dreaming big, and trusting your journey. And then hopefully, you know, it'll touch a few people and they can take it and run with it.
So how's it going? I mean, have you had like shows here, stuff like that? How's all that going?
Yeah, man. I got out here. My first show I had was in Camden. Really dope. It was with a live band, no PA system. So it's crazy because this is my first time performing the album because of COVID. I haven't even performed the album at all. So this is a special moment to even come out to the UK and perform, because it's my first time with my debut album performing in the UK. You don't get no better than this. So
Is this also your first time that you're here?
yeah, it's my first time I'm in the UK as well.
Why the UK? Why not Oakland?
Well,
Because you know, in Oakland, you could probably sell more on your own street than you would in the whole of the UK.
it's different though, because I feel because I spend a lot of my time in Los Angeles now, in LA. So I'm born in Oakland, born and raised, but I've been living in LA because of all the things we'll touch on later. But being in LA, you can't really. It's hard to touch the people and stuff like that, like I was talking about earlier. But
So I'm guessing you didn't come to the UK because you didn't just want to go around randomly touching people.
no.
Okay, so
That's just one of the
why-
perks. That's just
okay.
one of the perks of being here. Now,
So by touching, you're not talking physical
Yeah.
touching. You're talking about musically touching.
yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
I just wanted to make sure there was no perversions.
Yeah, nah, I feel you. No, but initially I came here because some of the radio pluggers was like, man, your single's catching out here. And so, I did a few Zoom interviews with a couple stations out here, and I see that my single was kind of getting traction out here. So I'm like, man, the world is big. Why stay in Oakland? Why stay in LA when I can come to London and still hopefully get that same impact and maybe even more? You know what I mean? So I'm like, man, let's as soon as the COVID restrictions dropped, I was on the first flight, just like that. And so that's really why I'm here, because I seen on the charts, you could tell, okay, 100 people are listening, or 500 people listening over here, or 1,000 over here, and I'm like, damn, London they feeling this. Let me tap into a few people I know and see what we can get moving and get shaking. So that's really why I came.
So, I mean, how have you found the reception at the UK so far? And how many shows have you done? How many radio interviews?
So far, it's been good. I've been telling everybody back home I'm never coming back, but I'm joking. I'll be back soon. But I'm definitely coming back in the next month and a half. I want the UK to be my second home. Just so far, I've been receiving so much love. Obviously, with good, you're gonna get bad. But for me, I don't really even care about the bad that's gonna come. My feeling, I love it here. It remind me of like a baby New York kind of. And so like I say, I love it. I performed in Camden so far, and then I went out and performed in, I think, Dalston.
Yeah, East
Yeah.
London.
But when I was performing in Camden, one of the DJs there was like, "Hey man, I like your flows and your bars. I want you to come perform at Box Park, Wembley." So I was there last night. So I was only supposed to do 2 shows. I ended up doing 3 shows. And the climate out here is different, so I kind of lost my voice. But like I say, so far it's been good. Got some radio station interviews all this week. So, man, honestly, it's kind of like, it's a dream come true for me.
And you're doing this all off your own back. You haven't got an agent kind of pulling a few strings and talking to people. So you're basically here saying, I'm in the UK, who wants to talk to me?
Pretty much. I'm independent. I run an independent company before Royalties is independent, but I'm also, so like in the States, I'm creating a bridge right now too out. And when I say, because the people got to know this, London, when I say London a lot, but I mean like UK, England, the entire England, you know what I'm saying? But I reference London a lot, but I'm creating this bridge. So like in the States, you ever heard of LLC? So I got this saying right now that I'm doing LLC, London, Los Angeles, California. So I'm kind of creating a bridge right now to where, UK artists independently can go and get love in LA, and then boom, some artists out on the West Coast and come to the UK and London and get love as well, and we bridge those gaps without having big corporations and big companies control how we move. Because like you see, and I'm moving how I want to move right now. Ain't nobody telling me how to move or what to do. Or I wake up when I want to wake up and move how I want to move, and I want other artists and other individuals to have that same mindset and do the same thing. And so that's what I'm creating as well.
When you look at how the industry's run, I mean, a major label will give you a certain amount of money, they'll sign you, they'll keep all your masters, they'll
Right.
give you like 14, 15, 16% of those like, you know, the money that keeps coming in, where they're making the rest of the 84, 85% for the rest of their lives and the rest of your life.
Right.
And all this time, all they've done is really given you a loan that they've taken back.
Right, exactly. Well, you think you balling, and then they come with, okay, they come with a bill. It's like, dang, I had to pay. They even charged me for dinner. They charge everything. Yes,
Everything.
everything is on that bill. And now you look up, you ain't got.
You've got a lot of debt.
That's why they get them so young. And see, that's why we go back to saying a lot of those artists that's getting those deals, they on their last dollar. So it's like, and they in different ghettos, right? Different hoods and ghettos. So they're like, man, forget it. I just think about that later. Just give me the money. And they quick to sign anything because they don't even know what they're gonna eat the next day. But over time, you learn though, like if you just keep it real and be authentic from the gate, it's gonna serve you more justice. But like in our industry, a lot of people have got rewarded from faking it till you make it. It's work for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But for the majority, it don't really pan out that way. So for me, my rule of thumb is just be real. It's gonna get you further.
So what's the music industry like where you are in Oakland? I mean, how different is it to what it is in the UK?
It's a lot of independency. Like, but one of the big, so they have a label out there now called Empire, and Empire is like a distribution company / label. So a lot of independent artists do their distribution through Empire, but they still keep their masters and still keep their independency, but they just got a bigger organization helping them with distribution. And so like even in the States, even in Atlanta, New York, everybody now is talking about, no, I want my masters, I want to be independent. That started in Oakland, in the Bay Area, being your own, basically your own boss, right? Selling your CDs out the trunk of your car. And so, but it's like a gift and a curse, because like everybody kind of like follows that model now, but then it for Oakland, it kind of left us like, well, in Oakland, I just feel like everybody take the game and run with it and leave us behind, to be honest with you. From our beats to the business structure being independent, now you see everybody in different regions in the States taking, like if you go to some Tupac interviews, even though they say Pac from LA, you go to some interviews, Pac gonna say, no, if I'm from anywhere, I'm from Oakland, because that's where I learned the game at. And when they say the game, it's like how to maneuver, how to do this, how to do that. That's what Pac gonna say. It's on footage. I ain't saying he said it, but and it's true, because in the town, what they call it the town, but in Oakland, it's that independent, it's that hustle. But like I say, it's a gift and a curse, because it becomes a bubble, you know, and you can't really get out because you so. But for me, I kind of wanted to soak that game in and then branch out. That's why I kind of like went to LA, but I still got that essence in me. I still got that Oakland in me. You know what I mean? Even when we talk about gangs, like Bloods and Crips is big all over the States. But the first gang ever was the Black Panther Party in Oakland, California, originated in Oakland, California. The first gang to go to the courthouse with guns. Whatever you talking about, that was them. And then everybody else, you know, oh, you know, Crips and Bloods originated after that, but it was really, the first gang was really they had breakfast meals and programs to give the kids, because like segregation and things like that, laws wasn't fair. So that's really what the Black Panther Party was. And wasn't really a gang, but like obviously they took that motto and changed it into something negative, right? But like it didn't start off as like a negative thing. But like I say, it all started in Oakland.
Yeah, that's
It
mad.
started in Oakland.
And I believe when we were speaking, you had another connection with you had a connection with Tupac in some way.
My lead single off the album, Turn You Out, is produced by the Mechanics. And so the Mechanics they produce for all the legendary guys out in California. We talk about Too Short, Tupac, E40, all these different guys, the Mechanics. And so that's just, it was, like I said, it was a dream come true to even do a couple records with them. You know, they just legendary. And so, you know,
How did that come about?
meeting people and kind of networking. And it wasn't like I didn't meet them and then we just hopped in the studio, kind of like building. And you know, they kind of had to see what I was about and I see what they was about. And then eventually He's like, man, I want to cut a record, and it kind of went like that. But we had built a business relationship though. We built a relationship. It wasn't just overnight, because obviously they're not just gonna give they production ability to anybody. You know what I mean? You gotta, you kind of gotta prove yourself too. So I just kept putting in work, and then we just was able to make it happen.
Did you actually go to the studio first of all with them?
I went to the studio with them, but I didn't cut the record with them. I went to the studio, checked out beats and things like that in Oakland, but I recorded in LA. But after I recorded, I sent my vocals back to them, and they mixed it and did all that, master it, and then sent it back to me. Then bam.
You sitting there with the mechanics, and do you want to spell the name so people?
So the mechanics is THE. The mechanics is MEKANIX. The mechanics, and so man, legendary producers. Shout out to the mechanics, man. What's up, Fo Rax, Kenny Tweed, what's happening, man? You already know what it is. But yeah, them boys.
You know what my next question is going to be in it.
What's that?
Is there any chance you can sort out a Zoom interview with them?
Most definitely. Y'all see it. Y'all see what it is, man. We worldwide with it. They definitely gonna tap in with you, and I'm gonna plug it.
You looking at Tupac as one of your favorite artists,
Right.
period.
Right.
Did you feel some kind of connection to Tupac when you were in there working with these guys?
Yes, for sure. Not only with the mechanics though. I gotta say, Too Short as well. Like,
Yeah.
I gotta say Too Short. Like, I remember I even brought a record to Too Short's studio called the Boombox in LA, because even for me and him, I was trying to get him on one of my records. It didn't kind of happen, but I still was able. He was like, man, just because I was hitting him, I've seen him around town. He's like, man, and I was like, man, what's up, man? I'm from Oakland, man. You from Oakland too? Like, man, we gotta make a song together. And then so he called one of his homies back in Oakland, like, man, who is this dude, man? I see him everywhere. He keep out. Is he really from the town? Like, is he a reputable? And so anyway, he made that phone call, and yeah, my pass was verified, So after that, then he invited me to his studio called the Boombox. I went there, played like some songs, and I wanted him to hop on a record or two, or even just give it to him. It didn't kind of pan out like that, but once he put it in, I remember he had like a party going on in the studio. Literally everybody came into the studio and was just like vibing out and dancing to the music I made. And one of his artists came in and was like, who is this? And then Short was like, that's his shit. And for me, even though me and Short never got a record together, that made my confidence level go up that much more, because Too Short got songs with Biggie, Jay-Z. Short got songs with everybody, MJG, all the legends. And so for him and for me to be on that level, and people thinking that it's Too Short's music, but it's really my music, all the girls dancing, everybody dancing, it's going crazy. That it made my confidence skyrocket. And then going back to the mechanics, even working with them, my confidence has skyrocketed, because when I sent them back my vocals, and they're like, bro, I like this. I'm about to get on this right now. I like this. So for them to like my songs, they working with legends, 40, Pac. So it's just like, okay, like, really can't nobody tell me nothing. Like I know I can make good music.
Yeah, but it's moments like that that make you put your hand in your pocket, pay for flights, and go to other countries to, let the world know what you're about. Next minute you're seeing from 20 people in the studio jamming to your track to seeing 20,000 people at a festival jumping to your track.
And like you talked earlier, manifesting, right?
Yeah, I want you to talk to me about the manifesting thing in a second.
Okay.
I really want to, because that's an interesting story what you told me. Unless you want to go straight into it with regards to trainers.
We can circle back around to it.
But yeah, go on, manifest.
Man, it was crazy. So I remember like it was yesterday, man. I had on like some when you young and back around from they call them pro wings. Like those is like you can get them for like a couple dollars. So I remember having on some pro wings, and everybody came to school with the new Grant Hill Fila shoes. Grant Hill's a professional ball player with the brand Fila. So man, and I remember getting made fun of, and I just remembered I wanted a pair of Grant Hill shoes, and I'm thinking like, man, I'm gonna get a pair of them. Like and obviously that thought kind of, I still kept that in me. Like I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get this. I didn't get it overnight, but years later down the road, here I am you know, being a professional fitness model, and Fila comes and approaches me, hey, we doing a campaign in Europe featuring the Grant Hill shoes. We want you to be in the commercial. So now I went from like people teasing me about not having these shoes to the actual company paying me to wear these shoes in a whole commercials being played all over the States and Europe. So it's just, for me, that just, it just make your confidence go up another notch. Cause it's just like, look, it don't matter about where you start, it matter about, you know, where you finish. And you gotta believe that you can be in those rooms or get those opportunities. But if I easily could have just cried and, wow, man, I'm nothing, I'm this. But nah, you got to keep your head up and keep going, because things will happen, but you just got to dream big and manifest and trust your process, trust your journey. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of many.
But that's what you're
Yeah.
about. It's about big dreams, isn't it? Dream big.
It's all that's what it's about. That's what we. And matter of fact, shout out to all the youth out back in the States. We got a Dream Big event. Our first annual happening May 21st. Dream Big. We got some dope entertainers and athletes coming and just putting on clinics and workshops and a concert at the end, just to kind of give, because I didn't learn this manifestation stuff till later on in life, but you know, now we want to give it to the youth at an earlier age. So we got our first annual Dream Big event happening. So shout out all my sponsors and partnerships for that as well.
What is the Dream Big about?
So basically it's just teaching the youth leadership skills like resume building, manifestation, right? Hard work, teamwork, workshops, and things like that. Just kind of giving them tools where you can't get in a traditional school. Like, you don't learn about credit and things like that in regular school. They don't. Well, I never got taught that. I didn't learn about a lot of things that I use in life until I got to real life. So we want to kind of, you know, get outside the box and not just we just want to give something special to the youth that they not getting and that they gonna need in order to succeed, you know, in society at an earlier age. Like I say, I didn't get some of these skill sets until later on in life, but now they can get it 10 years earlier than when I got it. And that's what it's all about. Like earlier, each one teach one. Each generation is supposed to be better than the next generation. And that's what I truly believe.
Imagine how many lives have been wasted
Exactly.
with nothing because we didn't have that education that
Exactly.
we're ready to pass on.
Exactly.
You know, we said about you being multi-talented. You also did a lot of modeling.
Yeah.
Are you still modeling?
I still got like 3 agents. So like if work comes across my desk, I'll definitely, I do more so direct bookings. But like in February, like 2 months ago, I did like 3 commercials. My agent hit me up, hey man, we got a gig for you. So I mean, if it's some money involved and I don't really got to do too much of nothing, I'll show up and, you know, give my talent. But I think that having that sports background growing up as well, playing sports, it helped me with the fitness modeling, because it's like I work with all the top NBA guys that you can think of. Like if whoever watched basketball, you'll know who Steph Curry is, and Kevin Durrant, Damian Lillard, all them cats. I work with them on different commercials for all the top sports brands in the world, like Under Armour, Nike, Adidas. So, but having that sports background gave me the opportunity to work with these professionals and these big companies. So I'm definitely not, I'm not turning nothing down if it come across my desk, but right now I'm focused on the music. But for 10 years, I made my living just off of fitness modeling. I obviously I invested that money into my music and things like that, but I made my living. The most money I ever made in the entertainment world is off fitness modeling.
Has it been a case of you've just been putting money into music, or have you actually started making money from music as well? You know, is it all outlay or is it income now? How long are you going to carry on doing something if it's not bringing an income? And you know, are you so passionate about it that you don't care? You just want to carry on?
Now that's a good question. Like, well, for me, it's a passion. So I haven't made. I mean, I haven't made enough money in music to make a living off of it. Nah, I haven't. But I feel like music is like, it's like therapy. It's therapy. It's like a soundtrack to my life, right? And it's I like to express myself. So regardless I'm gonna keep making it. I'm not sure when I'm gonna stop rapping, but I'm gonna keep making music as long as I'm enjoying it and having fun. And I even want to, when I get to a certain level, if I'm not in the booth, I want to help other artists. So music is just in me. I've been around it my whole life, so I'm always gonna be involved in music, either as a talent or behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? Just
Culture.
because, yeah, just the culture, man. Because it's crazy how music affects all kind of different cultures, like in all kind of different brands too. Like if you literally if a big artist sings about a champagne brand, the champagne brand blows up, or the clothing line that they wearing blows up. That's how big of an impact music is, worldwide. So, but yeah, I'm always gonna make music though, or be involved in the culture in some way, no matter if I'm getting paid or not. Obviously, I want to get paid from it and make a living where I don't have to do a lot of other things. But I'm not complaining though, because I'm still doing my music while I'm doing other things to make a living. So, but yeah, you got in music. You got to invest. That's what they call the machine. You got to feed the machine. That thing keep going,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
don't know. Sometimes people, sometimes you hit, sometimes you don't. But that's where you gotta. That's where I feel like it gotta be. You gotta just go all in, even if it's not the outcome that you will want. You still gotta go because you never gonna know. Because the day you stop making music, the next day could have been the day that people recognize you. So you got to have a bigger purpose than just making money. You can't just be about the make that. That can be one aspect of it. Obviously, we all got to make a living, right? We all got bills, but it's still got to be deeper than that in order for you to keep going and keep going, because it's a big investment. You got to invest in yourself. Everything costs, from videos to studio time to artwork to you name it. It costs, and you may not get that money back.
Yeah.
But for me, it's about, like, because I got two baby boys, so like even if I never sold one album, I'm still gonna blow my album up on the wall, put it in my office. My little boys walk in there when they grow up. Oh man, Pops made that album. Now they can see that and take it to another level. So it's about legacy for me. It's bigger than the money. It's about legacy, and art. Art lives forever. Art never dies. So like, and that goes back to saying, the music you putting out there, you like those bars you spitting, it's never gonna die. You wanna even, like your little ones, they gonna be hearing your bars when you gone.
Bro, they're both grown up and they never gave a shit.
Yeah, yeah. No,
But
I
but
feel that.
you know what? I took them on like some stages and stuff, and they've had incredible moments. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
trust me, they're gonna appreciate. They're gonna appreciate you. You probably don't know now.
When you're living in the same house as them and whatever,
Yeah.
they generally think, it's just my dad.
Right,
You
right,
know what I
right.
mean? And whatever, But when you go out and you go to a show and everyone's coming up and going, oh, can I get an autograph? Can I get a picture? Can I
Yeah.
whatever? Then they start realizing, hold on, my dad's
Yeah.
done stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. And they have a whole new level of
Yeah.
respect.
So yeah,
Yeah.
but just like they don't give a shit, neither do I.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Nah, I do it for the family and for the supporters, man. That's it. And for myself.
Is this thing with the UK going to be kind of a consistent thing? Are you going to keep coming back to the UK?
Yes, sir.
And how often? And are you going to start talking to people to potentially, act as agents to get you shows, expand your awareness and everything?
Yeah, I'm actually man, I'm like I said, I was telling you on the phone, bro, I'm in love. Like but seriously though, I love the UK. I'll be back in July. I want to come out here every other month and make it like my second home, to be honest with you. That's how much I love it. I love the culture. Even artists, I've been like,
Say that in the camera.
like I was telling my boy Blade, I'm in love with the UK. I love the culture, just the atmosphere, the vibes, everything. And obviously, you're gonna have your good and your bad, because it wouldn't be life without that. But for me, so far, it's just all been good. And man, I'm just excited to collab with the artists that I've been meeting at different shows. I've been kind of, exchanging contact information. So I want to cut some records that not only people back home where I'm from is going to love it and appreciate it, but also create that out here as well, so we can kind of cross market and, like I say, bridge that gap. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very excited to be out here in the UK. This is my second home. You know, I mean, unless I gotta go, unless I gotta get a cosign from somebody, but if I'm claiming it, I'm claiming it right now. This is definitely my second
But,
home.
but, but you know what? It all starts with you believing in yourself enough to
Yeah,
invest in yourself, and then all
yeah,
it takes is one record that makes the right noise.
exactly,
And God knows what can happen after that. You know, like
exactly,
it can all just go boom.
exactly.
And
You never know.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm speaking with some producers out here. I want to work with some producers out here and do some collaborations out here, like I say, to cross market and bridge that gap. Because I definitely want this to be my second home. I was joking with my friend, like, man, I'm gonna have an apartment here out here. I'm gonna have a spot out here. But even I can probably get it probably sooner if I use a lot of other my talents, which I'm gonna see. Like I'm gonna see. Maybe I may want to get an agent out here on the commercial side of things, right? That's another source of income where I can fund myself out here and still do my music, but still have a income coming in, and obviously until music, whatever, however that may transpire. But like my thought process, I can go anywhere in the world and off my creativity or my talent make a living.
so what's next for you?
Kind of still promoting the album, still promoting the album, and then start working on my sophomore project. And I would love, like I said, I would love to have. Uh, I want it to be more of an international vibe. I want some artists from out here from the UK. I want to feature some artists out here. I want to collab with some dope producers out here. Even record it out here. Just come out here for like just book out something for 2-3 weeks and just record the whole project. Maybe like an EP, and just record a project out here. And so that way I can kind of just feel that whole culture and go get my fish and chips and then come back and we back in the studio. You know what I'm saying? But real talk though, that's how you
So
that's
you
kind of
guys don't have fish and chips in Oakland?
what they call it French fries. We call it fried fish and French fries.
Okay.
But out here it's like a
But you
whole
get them
thing.
with an Uzi to the side as well, innit? As a side dish.
Yeah.
French fries, fish, and an Uzi.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how it is. Yeah, yeah. But
What's it like living in those situations? Like you've got LA, you've got gang wars and all that kind of stuff going on. Is this something that you ever see, or is it generally the general public don't see it because it's kind of contained in certain areas? And
I see it because I be all over. Not because I'm like sometimes I go to events in Beverly Hills, but my homie may live in the projects or stuff like that. So I see it and I'm aware of it too because I grew up in a nice part and I grew up in like bad parts. So like I'm able to identify. You just see if somebody walking down the street, they may have a rag hanging out their pocket. Maybe for the average person, they won't really know. But me, okay, he got a rag, so I know that that's affiliated with this or affiliated with that. So it's not really that hidden. You can go to different neighborhoods and see it, but they do keep it away from the tourists. They keep the tourists outside of like the different ghettos and different things like that, and kind of just keep it on the whole tourist thing. But if you branch off a little bit, every city got its nice part and bad part. You just gotta branch off a little bit, like.
and does that play a role in your music at all? Like, do you discuss it in your music? Do you kind of try and make people aware, or you stay away from it?
I don't even discuss it. If I discuss when I discuss it, or it's sometimes maybe a bar or two, but never a whole subject matter. It's always a bar or two, telling people to watch out for this or watch out for that. Different, I'm giving out warnings, right? Being a watchman, because my religion, you got to be a watchman. You got to watch and learn, be on your P's and Q's. So, I do say that, but I'm not like I don't promote that stuff, and sometimes I don't even want to give it life. But like I say, I'll tell people to watch out for this or watch out for that, because things can happen. You gotta stay on your P's and Q's. But I don't even really give it life that much, to be honest with you. I don't even discuss it. I just my music is more so like I feel like motivational and having a good time. Motivation and having a good time is what I'm about mainly.
You've now come to the UK, and you've obviously seen certain artists out there, and mainly rappers and stuff, and you've seen their talents. How does that compare to the rappers out where you are? Because, you know, like I find there's like quite a distinct difference between the two.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I feel I know what the difference is, but I'd like to hear from you because obviously you come from there.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So how do you see this?
Well,
And I want you on camera to look in
yeah.
that camera and
Yeah.
admit that the UK rappers are better than the Americans.
Now it just gets tricky because like as a whole, I feel like the UK is definitely more.
Let me
They're
say it.
definitely
Let
more
me say
focused
it.
on their craft.
Lyrical.
Yeah. Well. But see, but man, but forget them bubblegum rappers in the States though. The States got it's some spitters. It's some high spitters. Shout out my homie King Los. He's one of them. He on the album. He's one of them ones that'll come here in the UK and everybody in a fit right in the mix. But I will admit the UK definitely is more attentive to the craft, more focused on the craft and less commercial, you know. But the States definitely got hot spitters for sure, and more so on the East Coast. I'm from the West Coast, so we feel good music, laid back. It's some dope artists, some dope lyricists on the West Coast, but I feel like the East Coast probably have more. It's more about the bars and more about what you're saying. And I grew up on East Coast music. Like my favorite artist was Jadakiss, Jay-Z, Dipset, all these different guys, you know, growing up. So so I took a little bit of that, a little bit of West Coast, a little bit of down south, and all, and made my music. But definitely the UK, I will say, is more definitely when it comes to lyrics and just the essence. It's like hip hop. Like in here, it's like even in 521, it's like it feel like I was saying earlier, like out in the States they had a space called the basement where it's like real hip hop, and you go there, you spit your bars, and it's all about the essence of the culture, the hip, and that's what I feel like 521 is. And so definitely much love to the UK, man. Y'all got some dope spitters. I will admit, as a whole, probably more than the States. But if you grab 10 from the States and grab your top 10 from the UK, it'll be a hell of a match, and I don't know who will win. But it's probably more in the UK. However, them ones in the States, they competing with anybody though. So it's, you know what I mean?
I mean,
Yeah.
they win hands down when it comes to like the production values. Because
Yeah.
like in the UK, you've got 6 hours to finish your track, start to finish. That's mixing everything.
Yeah.
In America, they spend 6 days just on the bass line.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? So it's different
Yeah.
budgets, different. Anyway,
Yeah. It's just a different world, though. It's
yeah,
a
it
different
is a
world.
different world. It
It's a
is.
way different world. Like I feel like if I was out here, my music, if that's why I want to record the album out here, because it'll just be a little different. Because I'll be seeing different things, experiencing different things. It's just a different world, so it's hard to be like talking about riding down and whatever like that when we in the UK we not really even doing that. So it's just a different thing. Yeah, but man, like I said, I appreciate. I want to film a movie out here, make my album out here. Like I want to immerse myself in this culture because that's how much I love it. You know what I'm saying?
Do you want to quickly say about your filming as well?
So me, I want to do film and music, and I want to merge them. So I already came out with an episode called "In the Bathroom." The series is gonna be called Places. So in the bathroom, the next episode gonna be in the bedroom, in the living room, but different scenarios happen in different places, and so it's just about putting on a good show. If anybody ever heard of Power with 50 Cent, right? He's producing that show, but then we're gonna put our own music in it as well. So it's a way for artists and myself to get our music out there, and if you want to hop on camera, you act and things like that. You don't even have to go to school for it. You just turn the camera on and just act and just do it. It ain't no script. Just be you. You know what I'm saying? But I want to capture that whole, not only the audio but the visual, because I like more than just audio. I like visual art as well. So I just want to merge both of those worlds, the audio and the visual, and just package it all up together. So you got your music, you got your visual.
Any final words?
I just want to give a special shout out, definitely to you, Blade. You know what I'm saying? I really feel like you're a real legend, a real hip hop legend, not even a UK legend, but like a real hip hop legend. Even with you spitting these bars, how you spit them to this day, it make me want to like, man, I gotta, you know what I'm saying, step my game up. Hopefully years from
Bro,
now.
I'm low level right now. If you hear some of these spitters I'm talking about,
Yeah.
go and check out people like, I mean, Chester P is pretty much the GOAT. Yeah, he's lyrically untouchable.
Killing it.
And his brother Farmer as well, Farmer G.
Yeah.
And then you got people like Barbarian, Converse, Ill Sykes. There's loads of them. So many people like G-Bag, Big Cakes, Mice Diggy.
I gotta check out them cats.
Bro, I can get you a whole list, but there are so many, and each of them has got a different vibe as well.
But yeah, but much love to you though. Yeah, for sure. And all the other artists out here doing their thing. Shout out to my fam. Shout out to the whole Before Royalty crew. Los Angeles, Oakland, Seaside, we in the building, man, and I just appreciate the hospitality. UK, y'all make sure y'all get my album. My new album, Final Score, is in stores right now. It's your boy Prince Ray Pope, and we here live, we kicking it, man.
Listen, guys, to find out more about Prince Ray Pope, go follow him on all of his connection pages via the links in the description below. Please subscribe to the channel, click on the bell to receive the notifications, spread the word, and share our content. And also, don't forget to get involved in the comment section below. Until next time, thank you very much for watching. And again, bro, thank you very much for being here all the way from Oakland, Cali.
Many blessings, much love. And y'all remember, make sure you trust your process. Before royalty, always trust your process. And dream big, baby. It's your boy, Prince Ray Pope. I'm out.
Unforgiven traction. Impeccable control. All-season performance, and the ability to compete with the biggest names in the game. You expect these qualities from your favorite players. Now expect them from your tire. Kumo Tire, the official tire of the NBA.
He is an international entertainer, former college basketball player, commercial actor, fitness model, and director of Before Royalty Sports and Entertainment. Everybody, please join me in welcoming Mr. Prince Ray Pope to the stage.
And always remember, the early bird get the worm. All right? So wake up early, if you can, when you can. Be first in line, be first in class, be first to study, be first to practice, and be the last one to leave, if possible. You want to get the most out of life, because we only get one.
Now you on my line, then you tryna hang? Tryna what? You turned on me once, you'll do it again. You was supposed to be my blood, family, and my kid. But deep down, you hate to see bro win. They tried to crucify me like the Romans did. Know your worth, know your truth, you can't tell me shit. Loyalty before royalty, that's just how I live. You came, I made for, and I die for this. Throwing dirt on my name, nigga, you out of pocket. If you ain't got good to say, boy, don't even comment. I'm on the road to iconic, dropping jewels of knowledge. I'm a prophet, gaining prophets, boy, how ironic.